Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man. As always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. I guess I'm going to entitle this video Interesting Observation. Human observation. Even as a kid, I paid close attention to things that most people didn't. You know, I guess that's what makes me, me. You know, no two people are the same. No two people think the same. No two people perceive things the same, you know. So here it is. It's two of them. And the first one is this. On a regular basis, I still get people that just ask me, could you do this for me? Could you do this for me? And I put together a video explaining why I can't do it anymore. I used to do it when I had maybe 20, 30, 40, 100 subscribers. Now, since I have 35,000, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for supporting my channel. It's just impossible to fill 75 requests in a day because I get anywhere again from 75 to 100. Then it would be unfair to do this for free for this guy. And these other people utilize my tabbing service. I do have a tabbing service. I'll tab, depending on the song, I'll tab your song for anywhere from $15 to $20, depending on the complexity of the song, 2-song minimum. And I have people that utilize that service, and I appreciate you guys. You know, so I have put together a video to explain that to people because, again, you don't know what you don't know. Some people just think, oh, they're the only one that asked Morris Man for this one. There are 75 other people that asked me today for the same thing. So I get these on a regular basis, and I have to steer those people to the link, you know, to that video, where I, really go into detail. This is what it is. Because when you see those videos that I do with the chords across the screen, those videos take anywhere from half an hour to 2 hours to do. So you do the math. If I got 75 people in one day asking for this, and it takes me almost 2 hours to do this, ain't enough hours in a day to even do this. And then it's, my father had a saying, being a grown man, never ask another grown man for something you're not willing to pay for. So I get these requests, and I send these people to the link. And I say 90% of them I don't hear from anymore. So they just let me know they just wanted something for free. And I Morris Man, don't have 2 hours to give you. I mean, I just don't, So I got one a couple of days ago. And I quickly directed this gentleman to the link for that other video that just goes into detail. This is how it works. So his response was, because I said, $15 a song, depending on complexity, or even if I can do it, because you got to run it past me first. So $15 a song, 2-song minimum. So his response was, I'm cool with that. I just got to figure out the other song that I want. So I let my wife read that statement. I said, what is your interpretation of that? She said, well, he said once he figure out the other song, he'll do this. That was her interpretation. I'm like, this is what I read. Once I realized that it ain't free, I'm going to leave the door crack to kind of weasel out or bag out. And the bag out was, I got to think about the other song. I'm like, okay, I'm going to test this theory. And then I responded to this gentleman. I said, okay, you know what? While you thinking about the other one, let's go ahead and do the one you want me to do and send the money. So we're not slowing down this road, or, I'll go ahead and do what you asked me to do, but you got to pay me. Never heard from him no more. And I told my wife before I sent that one, I'm like, he's not going to follow through, because I read it through the lines. It's in between, and he left the door open, as far as, well, let me think about it. And a lot of times when I hear that from people, translation is, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to kind of stall you out, and then you don't hear from me no more. And that's fine, but again, never ask another grown man for something you're not willing to pay for. I mean, I can't see myself asking friends and family, let alone strangers, could you do this for me for free? I just can't. And one reason is the way that I was raised. My father instilled a lot of good values in me. I appreciated him, even though he was hard on us. But as you got older, you realize why he was so hard on us, because he wanted us to be productive individuals and not have a sense of entitlement. Because I know some people, they've been spoiled all their life, and it's hard to change your character once your personality has taken shape. It's just interesting. But I know I wasn't gonna hear from him anymore. And I told my wife, I'm like, watch this, and you ain't gonna. She's like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, yeah, because I see it in a statement. Or when I'm like, well, let's eliminate that possibility or eliminate that issue. Let's just do what you asked me to do and pay me. Send me the money and I get this done tomorrow. And even though the song that he asked me to do, I don't like it. I can't stand that song. But I'm like, this is business. If that's what you want me to do, I'll do it. But that's why it didn't show up on my channel, because I don't like it. But here's the second one. And this one's interesting because I talk about this all the time. No two people play the same. No two people think the same. And this is the basis of this video. So I just recently released some of my songwriters demo songs that I've written years ago. And they were the ones that I posted were the demos, So I had one guy say, oh, I like the song, but the snare is too loud and reverb and delay. And I found that interesting because I'm like, it goes back to my interpretation of songs that I play on guitar and how people are like, oh, Nile Rodgers did it this way and his finger's on this fret. I'm not Nile Rodgers. This is Morris Man Flair, and if you don't get that or understand it, no two people play the same. I hope my mic is... Yeah, no two people play the same. Now I can't even hear my mic, even though I see the meters going. Testing, check, testing. I got to really get my equipment act together. But, it's interesting that some people never get that. And we talking sometimes older people. It's like, okay, when you first start dabbling in music, you think everybody's supposed to do it the same. You could take one song with the same artist, and he can do a rendition of it, 60, 70 different renditions. There's no one set way. And there's some people that they don't get that, But my response to him was, no two people play the same and no two people mix the same. Personally, I like my snare hot. I come from that era where it was drummers, not drum machines. And the snare, especially on an up-tempo tune, you want the snare. Basically, and I know things change, as far as from the drummer's aspect, and I'm sure that the drummers will back me up on this, back in the day, 60s, 70s, you're popping that snare on the dance tune, and when you're doing a ballad, you're hitting the rim shot, or if it's a fast tune that you want to kind of break down, you come off the snare and start hitting the rim shot. But nowadays, in R&B music, they didn't remove the snare and replaced it with just clapping, and I'm like, I ain't with that. I really love the era of Teddy Riley and New Jack Swing because I'm just, again, I'm an observer of things that most people don't pay attention to or close attention to. And I'm listening to all those different snares that Teddy Riley used that had some pop to it. And I wrote that song during that era because these are, demo from the vault that I did 15, 20 years ago. So it's like, this is 20 years ago mixing or what I would do. Now, if I were to do that song today or redo it, it'd be totally different. So it's like, come on, man. No two people play the same. No two people mix the same. No two people hear it, interpret it the same. There's no one way to say this is wrong and this is right. But I get a kick out of that when people give me that because it's like, come on, man. No two people play the same. There's some songs that I did when I first started my channel and the quality of my equipment was really crappy. So I said, you know what, I'm going to redo this because this has, I have to do justice to this song because, the guitar part is great, but it's just the visual or the camera quality wasn't as good. The audio wasn't as good. So I redo it. And when I redo it, I never, in most cases, play it the same, because I hear something different. I'm like, it sounds better if I do it this way. Because I've had some of my subscribers, that have followed me way from the beginning. They say, man, I remember when you first did it, you did it different. Yeah. And the next time I do it, probably do a little different then. But the bottom line is no two people play the same. No two people do it the same, in most cases. Should I share this? Yeah, I'm going to do this because this ties in great. Full House, the show that came on in the, I think it was the late 80s, maybe the early 90s. I used to love that show. And now they got a reboot of it, and all those actors still look great, 20 years later. They look healthy and they look happy. So I remember the John Stamos character Jesse was a drummer and a guitar player. He's a really talented guy. And the episode was about he thought he was good enough to be a professional musician when actually, in real life he is. So they were trying to discourage him from putting all his eggs in one basket because it is a very risky business, the music business. So the Beach Boys, I think he met the Beach Boys and they wanted him to tour with them, as a drummer. So I'll try to make a long story short. He didn't realize what all this acquired to be a professional musician because, first of all, he couldn't read, And when they came to him, I'm about to mess this up because I'm trying to make a point. He learned the majority of their catalog. So when they were rehearsing, he was playing from what he heard, and they was like, no, here's the new arrangements for this, and they gave him the sheet music. And he said, so we're not going to do it? They said, no, we mix it up. Every few years we kind of do new arrangements to these old songs because they become so redundant to them. It's like we've been playing these songs 20 years and we do different arrangements. Like Sting did a new arrangement on Wrapped Around Your Finger. Is it that one? Yeah. And it's a jazzy version. I love it. I really didn't care for the first version because I'm like, I'm not feeling this one. But when he did the jazz version a couple years ago and I did a cover recently, I'm like, yeah, and that's a good example of same song, different arrangement. You, over a period of years, you add a little flair to the stuff you've done. Because, I go back to my songwriting catalog. I'm like, some of these songs I'll redo, because for one, now it's kind of dated and I hear new things going on in my head that I can do. Because I took one song that I wrote and it was an up-tempo ballad, dance to it. And then I turned it into a slow ballad. It's like it's the same song, but it's just a different arrangement. But I'm going to leave you guys with this. No two people play the same. And also, never ask for something you're not willing to pay for. Till next time, take care. Thanks for watching.